morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony Show. My name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Marie.
And wherever you're listening from, or not listening, watching from, listening to, whether you're live or delayed, watching on YouTube later, thank you for hanging out with us. It means a lot.
Whoa, Jen.
Well, Jen, thank you very much for those 3 gifted Tier 1 subs.
And Lisa, why is it making them so big on our chat?
I made the font bigger recently.
Oh, because you knew about my eye troubles?
Yeah, I knew you were struggling in life, so I decided to make the font a little bigger. It also makes it easier for us to read. We're not like leaning into the camera. We've got 23 subs to go before we hit this month's sub goal, which I reduced because we have less days
in
February. And plus we had a day off, so I reduced that. And it looks like, can I put this thing back up here? Let's see. The hype. There it is. The hype boss, which I still don't fully understand.
Can we make instead of that little person cut out, can we make it look like a mafia boss?
I think it's whatever the person's avatar is.
Oh.
So I guess Heather on Long Island might not have a picture, so that's what pops up on the screen.
No.
If someone beats Heather on Long Island and they have an actual profile picture, then maybe that'll pop up. I think that's the deal. Sweetie, it's by V with another 1,000 bits. Thank you very much for that. A lot of things to do today. There's a lot to cover. What I learned in the last 24 hours, we will talk about that. Hall of Fame. Carla Marie just had me add that to the list. Famous cats. Are these your cats or someone else's cats?
We'll find out.
Foot money. We were supposed to talk about this yesterday and did not get to it. But I promise you, it's a good one. And also, I've got a question for anyone out there that might be able to help me.
Okay.
And it's how to sell metal. Because I think I'm about to do something really stupid. And I don't want to, embarrass myself.
At least you came here first before you do the stupid thing.
I might be embarrassing myself anyway.
And something that's not on the list.
What?
My new eyeglasses.
Are you supposed to wear them?
Yes.
Okay, so why you're not wearing them?
Well, because I got to wear them yesterday. I see my eye doctor is in here,
Okay.
Dr. Dow. I put them on yesterday and looked at my phone and was like, whoa. Because, I can read just fine. I can see.
I can.
But when I put on the glasses, everything was just, crisper and, more magnetized. And I was like, oh.
Magnetized?
Magnified.
Oh.
My eyes immediately went.
So they should not be magnified. That sounds terrible. AMS06H, thank you very much for those 100 bits. Appreciate that.
So the only other time I've had glasses, the ones I wear in the stream, were originally for night driving.
Okay.
They were nothing at this point. They were just helping me if I didn't wear eye makeup. They were great.
Okay.
So anyway, I haven't put them on stream yet. And I wanted to see what this screen looks like to me.
So what does the screen look like now? Can you read it?
I can read it, but everything's got a little it's almost like if you do that, kind of.
So you have to squint to see it clearly.
Well, no, it's I don't know, it almost feels like there's a little glow.
So is it hazy?
I guess.
Is it blurry?
This thing on my eye doesn't help.
Okay.
I'm farsighted.
Okay.
Which means I can see far.
Okay. And?
It's definitely
Is it
clearer.
really?
That's so insane.
Wow.
It works.
I mean, I hope it does. You went to the doctor for it.
Modern
It's not like you
medicine
just picked it up at
works.
CVS. Mary Alexis, thank you for hanging out again and ordering some additional You Look Great merch. That's pretty cool.
That's
Thank
so
you.
Cool.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I can see everything clearly. I don't know if I should probably get an eye check anyway.
Yeah, I told Dr. Dow we're sending you. I think that you need something that's blue light medical grade level because you just stare at screens.
I do. I stare at a lot of screens all day long. And now that I found some new Nintendo Switch games and some 3DS games, some old school ones, like yesterday, I probably played the original Dr. Mario for 2 hours. Great game.
Okay.
It rivals Tetris as possibly the best game of all time for the Nintendo system.
Beck said, same thing happened to me looking at trees far off when I got glasses. I could see the leaves. But see, I could see super far away.
Yeah.
It's close up that, it's not that I can't see it. It's just better. I don't know. Dr. Dow does a good job at explaining it. We'll have to have him on one day to explain eyes.
Yeah.
And vision and how it works. And just because you need glasses, Like, doesn't mean it's going to progressively get worse. Sometimes, like, it could help wearing glasses. Will help your vision not get worse because you're not straining.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that once they get glasses, like, it's over for them, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. But I bet you there's a way to avoid that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do have blue light blockers. I can't find them right now.
No, you're going to go. And then to Dr. Dow.
Okay.
And also, I'm probably going to have to get this thing on my eye surgically removed.
All right.
That's a different doctor.
Keep us posted. Is that something you learned in the last 24 hours?
It is, actually. Dr. Dow was like, yeah, you can keep doing hot compress, but I'm going to recommend you to. I think it's a plastic surgeon.
Is it like a snip? What do they do?
Numb your whole eye so you don't feel anything, and they flip your eyelid up, and then they just cut it because it's like a giant pimple, and then they pop it out.
Oof.
I'm going to ask them if I can keep it.
Nope.
I'm going to show it off.
That's disgusting. What I learned in the last 24 hours, and this is kind of dumb, but I learned the worst thing to drop. The worst thing to drop.
Is a remote on your foot.
No. The worst thing to drop is an uncooked egg. I was taking eggs out of the fridge yesterday, and now it's also, in today's day and age, it sucks because they're expensive.
Yeah.
But the amount of time it took to get egg yolk off the floor, because it's not like it just sweeps up easily.
Was it by the sink?
No, it was by the fridge in the little corner. I did a very good job cleaning.
It's sticky by the sink, and I found shells there.
The shells may have been from peeling.
Oh.
Let's see. Hype train complete at level 4. So we do not take a shot today, Carla Marie. We did not get to hype train level 5, and that is okay.
I just like that shot.
Huh? Well, I mean, you could take. Do you want to take it anyway?
All right, maybe.
All right. But it took me, I'd say, a solid 15 minutes just like wiping that area over and over to get all of the egg yolk off of the floor, because you can't sweep it, you can't vacuum it. One swoop with a paper towel is not enough.
No, Bounty commercials lied.
It takes a long. I think Bounty commercials are truthful about all the other products that they can mop up, but
so there's a few people saying no. The worst thing to drop is Heather on Long Island said an open container of glitter. She wins immediately.
You should not even have a container of glitter. Number one, that should not be in your home. Secondly, can't you vacuum that up technically? Like, shouldn't it all, with a good vacuum, get sucked up?
It sticks immediately.
Okay.
Red Hand B says cooked rice. I think that was easier.
Cooked rice, I can see that because, again, you can't vacuum it up once it's, like, sticky. And it probably takes a long time.
Bag of flour, said Kimmy.
Ooh, that does sound pretty bad because there's a couple times where I've been trying to transfer protein from one container to another. And if you don't do that right, it's everywhere.
I've dropped some protein powder, and then I have like this big container of powder that I use for the cats, and I'm like almost always drop that.
Let me get rid of this hype boss.
Fred the mailman said the worst thing to drop is a tray full of pre-sorted mail on a windy day.
That does.
What do you do then? Pre-sorted again?
Well, it wouldn't be pre-sorted then. It would be post-sorted. No?
Resorted.
Resorted is a good one. Martha says, Carla Marie, that we should take the shot anyway. What do you think?
Okay.
All right, well, pour it up.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Now that we got through the 24 hours.
Well, I actually had something different that I learned in 24
hours. Well, share it while you pour up the shot.
Zodiac signs and you are drawn to certain signs thing. I fully learned it's 100% real.
Okay, how so?
So, I've talked about our neighbor Olivia. That's how we got into the whole conversation about becoming friends with your neighbors thing.
Okay, yeah.
And is it good or whatever? And I was like, we had been talking for a year and we were texting back and forth and like we were just getting along so well. And we had gone out to get dinner. And then last night we actually went out again. And in the middle of dinner, I said something. I was like, yeah. And, but that was around my birthday and I couldn't go. And she's like, oh, when's your birthday? I was like, March 5th. She's like, shut up. I'm March 6th. And I was like.
So you think because your birthdays are close to one another that you're
And I was
friends.
like, I knew it. You're a Pisces. Everything makes sense. And she's like, I don't know too much about Zodiac. I'm like, I just know that Pisces stick together and everything makes sense. Like why we easily click so much just makes sense.
Yeah, but what does that say about all the other relationships in your life? Like all of your other female friends, are any of them born around you? Like Sam. Sam's birthday is in August.
Right.
So that doesn't make sense.
Are his lights flickering?
They're flickering a little bit.
No, but Sam and I didn't click immediately.
Okay.
So I think that doesn't mean I'm not friends with that person.
I don't know. I find the whole horoscopes thing a little weird, but you know
said
what?
that until I read you what a Cancer is, and you were like, "That's me."
It's vague enough to be.
Don't make me do it again.
No. I mean, that's a weird threat. No, I think they're all vague enough to be true to some degree for everybody. I do believe that. If I'm a Gemini and a twin, what does that mean? Says Lisa. That's true. Like with
No. Why you're saying that's true? You don't even know what that means.
No, it's a good question. Like,
no, because Gemini's a twin sign. Is that why she's asking that?
oh, maybe. Okay, let's see. Jen from Jersey City. Not true. My husband and my sister are both Pisces, and they don't mesh always.
Well, that's because husbands and sisters aren't supposed to get along.
Do you not get along with
No,
your
I do,
sister's
actually.
husband?
A lot. Probably more than they get along.
Monica from Phoenix. My birthday is Saturday.
So like, you're a Pisces too.
Well, get back here on Thursday so we can celebrate your birthday properly.
Yes.
With maybe a shot and a good Arabic birthday song. Oh, so are you familiar with the?
Pisces.
Yeah, are you familiar with the comedian Russell Peters?
No.
So he's got a bunch of like YouTube videos that have probably come across your feed at some point.
Or not, because my algorithm and yours is so different.
That's true, but he's been around for a while. Does anyone in the chat know Russell Peters?
We're going to do a whole stream.
Apparently water signs go well with earth signs.
Yeah, we're going to do a whole stream about. We're going to get a Zodiac killer on here. We're going to talk about it.
All right, at least one person knows who Russell Peters is. Two people. So yesterday on my feed, on my Instagram feed, a Russell Peters stand-up clip came through. And it was Russell Peters talking about how people in Lebanon party.
Oh, I saw you posted
So
this.
I posted that, and then my cousin, also Lebanese, asked me if I saw another one of his bits about Lebanon. And she sent me the full YouTube version. And it's about a club in Beirut
That you've been?
called BO18.
B-O.
BO18.
What does it stand for?
That's a great question. I don't really know. But he does this whole bit about this club. And the weirdest thing is I have been to that club. And
Is
everything
that
he
where you
says
almost got
about
beat
it.
up?
No, that was I didn't no. Let's be clear. That's one of the few times I didn't almost get beat up. I almost beat somebody up
Oh, okay.
at that club because they ran out on a bill on my brothers and I had to chase him down the street. With the club owner, he ended up following me to chase the guy down as well. But anyway, that's a different story for a different day. So it was just interesting. BO18 is it's gonna sound weird. It's an underground club, but not like an illegal or like
Is it physically
mafia
underground?
affiliate. Yeah, it's an underground club, and it's not under a building. So it's not like a basement. It's in a bomb shelter. So you drive out to the area of this club, and when you get there, you think you're being punked because you don't see anything. You go to a parking lot, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna walk over there," and it's just an empty space.
That's cool.
And you go
I wanna
down,
go.
and it's I want to say an old bomb shelter, but I guess it could still be used as a bomb shelter. It's not like
And it has alcohol.
yeah, alcohol, music, some chairs, and I think they did something weird because it's underground. I feel like, from what I remember, this is like over 10 years ago that I went out to Beirut, but I think because it's underground, they tried to give it like a cemetery vibe as well, as if being in a bomb shelter isn't weird enough. And I want to say the tables or the couches are designed like caskets.
Can you pull up a photo of this place?
Yeah,
I mean,
can.
come on.
I can.
It's 2023. Just sitting here describing something when we have the internet.
BO.
These lights flashing are going to
So-
send me into
okay.
a stroke.
Just put it up 2 clicks.
Up to
Yeah. There you go. BO18.
It's called Bless This Stuff.
What?
It said the name of the club was Bless This Stuff.
No, I think that's the website that this
Oh.
picture is on. Okay, this is what they do
What?
because it does have a retractable roof.
What?
This thing
To
opens
the
up.
parking lot? What if a car drives in?
No, you don't park on
Look,
top of that.
There's car. Are you
No,
kidding?
yeah, but you can't park on top of that
But what
part.
if that person reversed into that?
Let me put it on the screen for a second so
seems
people know what we're
unsafe.
talking about. So this is BO18. This is what it looks like when it's closed. But yeah, it is pretty, and I think it's a specific time that it opens every day. Maybe not midnight, but like 12:30 or 1 o'clock. And it's very much like the claw in Toy Story. Like everyone looks up and they're like, yeah.
But I'm like, there's cars right there.
Yeah, around it.
Look, that car is pulling out of a parking spot.
Eh.
What if someone just
Listen, if you're partying in Beirut, a car falling into your underground bunker club is actually the least of your problems. Because just getting home, that same car is probably going to be driving the wrong way down the road.
Can I see something?
Yeah.
I want to see about this place.
What do you mean? What do you mean you want to see about it?
It's just cool.
Yeah, it is really cool
So this is what it looks like.
when it's closed up.
And you go in this door.
I believe so, yeah.
You can't see that on the screen. That don't look like
No,
caskets.
those maybe they changed them over time. I feel like there was click on this picture right here.
Oh,
they
I
may have
can see
they may have
no,
changed
I
it.
get casket vibe.
But yeah, that is and I remember the time I went there, I was probably 20 when I went. So I went the first time. And I remember just standing because you don't go to the club until like 1 in the morning there. Like we may have got there after midnight.
And for that reason, I'm out.
And well, if you hate fun, you hate fun. I can't help you there.
I'll be sleeping.
No, you just wake up late,
Make it go back.
and then you won't have to worry about it. What do you mean make it go back to here?
There we are.
Yeah. So I vaguely remember the whole night because I was really drunk when I went, but I do remember standing on a couch and dancing by myself for like a straight hour, just vibing out to some house music that I didn't really know.
Different than what you do anywhere.
Huh?
That's no different than what you
No,
do.
it's not. But I think at one point my whole shirt may have been unbuttoned.
Again.
No, I wouldn't do that here.
Vicky said, I'm sure they have something to stop the cars. I'm not.
Uh,
And the stories Anthony has told me, I have zero faith that there's anything to stop the cars.
There's a building that's I don't know if it's still up, but it wasn't far from my aunt's house in Beirut. She lives in the city. And there was a building that basically the skeleton of the building was up, like the framing of it. And they had to stop building it because they realized their measurements or something were wrong. Like the math they did
The math ain't mathin'.
to figure out the weight distribution of the building was off, and they just left it there for years. It just sat there.
And then they turned it into a club.
They weren't like, let's fix this thing or let's take it down. They just said, well, I guess we can't keep building, so we're just going to leave the whole thing there. And it's tall. It's like 4 stories, 5 stories tall. Cheers, Carla Marie.
Well, that seems stupid.
What? Just drink it, whatever it is. You'll be fine. It's probably ice.
No,
Cheers to you. Cheers to everyone who supported the stream today.
Thank you. Peppermint patty.
Good to go.
Mhm.
That is, no joke, the best shot that we've had from them. And if you want the recipe, you can go to seattlecocktailclub.com and you can
I hate
find the
mint.
recipe there.
That is so good.
It is. I love seeing people put the shot glasses in the chat. I do have to figure out how to get them back on the screen like they used to be in the old layout. But what I learned in the last 24 hours, we are done with that. Now we can move on to Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Carla Marie.
So, Rutgers University, WRSU, that's the Rutgers radio station
Yeah.
on campus. I went to Rutgers.
Boo.
They are doing their inaugural WRSU Hall of Fame class.
Oh, cool.
So, all fellow members, former members of WRSU can vote to put people into the Hall of Fame. The induction ceremony is in June, and it's like everyone's invited. I can't go. I have a bachelorette party that weekend. I'm super bummed because I'm like, oh, it'd be so cool to be at like the first.
Yeah. Well, are you nominated?
Well, we didn't even get that far yet.
Oh,
this is just
okay.
like everyone can come.
Okay.
We're also celebrating 75 years of the radio station.
Got it.
So, which is insane because company commercial radio stations ain't around that long.
No,
That's
true.
for sure. So, my friend Danny and I, who went to Rutgers together, were texting back and forth about it. We both don't think we can make it, but I was like, dude, these reply alls are out of control. And then you start looking because everyone is signing the email what year they graduated from.
So what do we got?
Okay, Dan, not my friend, says, is nominating oneself frowned upon? Now, mind you, an email went out with a link to nominate people.
Yes.
Someone else responds. Great question. Was wondering the same thing. Lynn, class of 1980.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, Lynn, not doing this reply all.
What was the first one?
Dan, he didn't say the year,
Oh,
though.
he didn't. Okay.
Then Barbara responds. Oh, sorry. Then someone else responds and said, I would like to nominate someone else, but I don't know what year they graduated. Can you remove that as a requirement from the form? Again, though, we're replying all to hundreds of people.
So how many emails did you get in this thread?
It's actually not that many because I'm
Okay.
assuming everyone after the class of 1980 is like, please stop. So someone's like, oh, I would like to nominate someone, but I don't know their year. And then,
It's a good question, though.
yeah, Barbara says, he was part of the original group of us who got the original FM license. We should nominate him. Barbara, class of 1973.
Wow.
Barbara, what
Wait.
are you doing?
Does that math make sense, though? For the 1973, and this is, it's a 50-year anniversary, right?
75.
It's a 75-year anniversary?
Yeah.
So does that math make sense?
Yes, because my dad was born in 45 and he's going to be 78.
Huh.
So, but the original, it was AM before FM.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Got it.
But some of these people now, I'm looking at their signatures, seeing where they work, what they do. It's kind of cool.
Dana in Maryland said, I work at a federal agency, and my favorite days are when people reply to all reply all to an agency-wide email. It's hilarious. Now, the best part about that, though, and this used to happen when we had radio jobs, a couple people would have, like, especially with radio personalities, they'd have these, like, funny remarks to the original email, so they felt it necessary to reply all.
Dude, write
And
it on
then-
a Post-it and put it at your desk. And
But
look
then
at
there's always the curmudgeons who are like, don't reply all to the email, but they reply all to the email,
No, I don't.
which makes it even worse because now you have all the people who think they're super funny replying all the people who hate life telling people not to reply all. And it's just this back and forth all day of that.
Yeah, so that's been happening. But now I'm like, but what if people are nominating me and I'm not going to be there? And I'm in the first induction?
Well, do you think someone's going to nominate you? Like, who else in the radio world who has had a more successful radio career? Matt Pinfield? Isn't he a Rutgers guy?
Matt Pinfield is a Rutgers guy.
He's a pretty big deal.
I
He
wonder
should
if
be-
Matt Pinfield's on this reply all.
He should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I don't know. Matt Pinfield was what they sold the radio station to students as.
Yeah.
Matt Pinfield from MTV.
Exactly.
And then apparently when I left, it was Carla Marie from Z100 started here.
But who else? Was there anyone else that's like made it?
I don't know, but I tell you what, Barbara in the class of 1973 ain't nominating me.
Like Sam is a Rutgers alum, but was she
did
at?
not work at the radio
She didn't do the
station.
radio station. What about Elizabeth?
No.
No radio station. What
I
about your old intern who's now with JJ? Was that a Rutgers person?
Huh?
Isn't one of your old interns working with JJ in
No.
Atlanta now?
No.
Oh, I thought they were.
No.
Okay, never mind. So really, not a
But-
great radio school, huh? You and Matt Pinfield, like
No, there's Barbara.
Yeah, what's Barbara done? Barbara and Dan, what have they done?
This guy just responded, I look forward to seeing as many folks as possible at the 75th anniversary and Hall of Fame event. I always smile when I think about my time and memories at the station.
That's sweet though.
Tim Jackson, chief announcer, 1981 to 1982.
What's his name?
Tim Jackson.
Good for Tim Jackson. I'm a
Chief
fan.
announcer.
I'm a fan of Tim Jackson.
All right, wait, hold on. What does Lynn do? Don't tell me what Lynn does. There was someone. Oh, this guy. He's the host of. Oh, he's the host at the radio station.
Like right now?
Yeah, because you can still like do a radio show. It's public radio, so you can still do a radio show. Like I could go do a radio show there if I wanted. I'd have to get it approved.
I wonder if Seton Hall would let me go back and do a show.
SOU? I don't know.
Because
Probably
it's
not.
also public radio. I mean, it's owned by a private college,
but
but
aren't they like heavy metal? SOU?
yeah, but they do specialty shows. Like I specifically
Well-
remember, I think my friend Steve, because he worked there for one semester, I think he produced.
Geb?
Yeah, I think he produced like a Polish radio show or something.
So they and here's the thing: as a public radio station, this is like it's crazy. They have to have a mix of like community affairs programs, and there's a lot of rules to make it not regular radio.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Like this guy, Richard, hosts a low budget blues program from 8 to 10 p.m. only on Thursdays.
It's interesting that he felt the need to put low budget, unless is that the name of the show?
No, that's the name of the show. He also
like his show when he's like, oh, I'm the host of the low
what he calls
budget.
It. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're like you could pitch almost anything, and that's what's really cool about college. Like you can do any kind of show. I was part of the first ever morning show that lasted like 2 weeks. Because I refused to wake up at 8 a.m. I did that with Max.
Like the show itself lasted 2 weeks, or you lasted 2 weeks?
I lasted like 3 days, and the show lasted 2 weeks, I think. There's a long running sports program that's been there. There was a nightly news show I did for my entire time there, which is crazy because when I'm researching for the morning show podcast, that memory of doing that night show keeps getting triggered.
Why?
And never before in my radio career has it, because it's the only time where I've had to read stories, dissect them, and regurgitate them.
Yeah.
And it's like, we never really did that on the air unless it was like pop cult. Like, it wasn't the same. But this is like throwback. The internet and news websites were just becoming a thing. Yeah. We didn't get our news. So we had the AP Newswire, which you can go to the AP website now. But it was like a program on the computer, and you would log in and you'd look at certain stories, but they were all in like screenwriter type format, like typewriter text. And you'd click the story you want, and then you'd print it off the printer, and it would be just a little paragraph, and you'd be like, okay, now I need to sensationalize this story. You just got the facts. And it was just, I'd say like at this point in my life, that is where I learned so many of the skills that I am using now.
I don't think I did. We didn't do any like hard news stuff. Obviously, we covered some stuff in some of the radio classes that we got tested on.
This was just volunteering.
But yeah, we never. Also because I never actually spent time outside of the classroom at WSOU. I did 2 of the courses because you're supposed to do like 4 to 6 weeks of like courses in the evening to, I guess, qualify for the program. But as that was going on, I was auditioning for a movie, which I never got, so I got neither of them. But the auditions always took me away from that. So
what movie?
It was actually ended up being a really good movie called The Kingdom
with Jamie Foxx.
With Jamie Foxx, that was the one. And I would have been a little terrorist boy who died. And I'll never forget. I got to the audition, and the guy looked at me, and he was like, "How old are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I think I had just turned 19, maybe 19 or 20." So I told him, he's like, "Well, your your agent sent you to the wrong audition. This is supposed to be for like a 12-year-old, but you're here, so you may as well do the audition."
What did you have to say?
So I didn't actually have words. I had to basically just die. I had to be. The scene was essentially like at the very end of the movie. If you've never seen it, there's a scene where they get into like a terrorist's bunker of some sort, and his family is there, but then shots start getting fired, and one of the kids dies. One of the terrorists' like sons, I think, or something. Or at least that's how it was originally planned. And I had to be one of the kids that died. So he's like, "All right, well, just give me your best." And I got so into it that, you know, I like took a couple shots, or I had to run in, shoot, and then get shot. That was the deal. What
gun are you holding?
I think they gave me something, or I just put my hand out, whatever it
was.
No,
improv. This is not a gun.
I know.
Improv 101.
But in the audition, when I finally get shot, I threw myself into the wall. Like I let both legs off the ground, like someone yanked me from my back, and I went into the wall and hit the ground and died. And the guy was like, "All right, man, that was actually a really good audition."
Yeah,
but like I said, this is for like a 12 or 13-year-old, so I don't know how this is going to go. And that was the first time I had to miss one of those radio classes. Then, in the week between, I get a call back. I And he literally told me, like, don't expect to be called back. This is not, you're way too old. He's like, you have way too much facial hair for this.
Did you show up like this?
No. But I showed up like clean shaven and you could see the stubble. Like I would have had to shave it every 6 minutes of that shoot. But I get a call back and it's the director guy or the casting director, whatever position he was. And he goes, listen, man, I talked to whoever about you. We're going to try to figure out how we can get you into the movie somehow because you did a really good job and I would feel bad.
I would do a good job at
that
fake
you
dying.
showed up and we can't do anything for you. And then I went back another week. I don't remember what that second audition was or if I just had to do the same thing. And then that was it. I never heard back from them again. But out of the 4 or 6 weeks I was supposed to do that radio class at Seton Hall to join the radio station officially, 2 of those were taken up by that audition. So
and look at that.
That was it.
You could have had a great radio career.
I could have.
Did you want to be in movies?
I always wanted to just make people like smile. I wanted to entertain people.
By dying as a child?
Just anything that made people like enjoy their time.
Okay.
You know,
that's better.
That was it.
But at that point in time, you were just doing like modeling stuff. So what made you want, like, did you want to do movies?
I mean, I wanted to get paid more than I was getting paid. I would have done whatever. I went on auditions for TV shows, music videos, commercials, print shoots, and movies. I went on auditions for like all of them. I got a couple commercials.
You should audition for like short films and stuff.
Well, my cousin Rudy does that now.
I know.
In
and
LA.
He did improv, right?
He's done improv. He's done stand-up comedy classes. He's done actual acting classes. He does a lot, and he joins a lot of these like student-run films or indie films.
It's cool.
And I don't even know, a lot of them he probably doesn't even get paid for. And some of them he does. He doesn't
like
need the money. He has a very good job on his own. And he just does it because it helps him get like the creative side of him out. Because he has a job that's not necessarily the most creative. He does bonds. He's a lawyer for like financial stuff.
Yeah,
And
this is
he's
his creative
still a
outlet.
super creative person. Yeah.
Oh, I can't put a thing on the screen if it's this, right?
No, you can.
It won't let me.
Hit the TV button up there. Yeah.
Tacoma Swifty said, I listened to a podcast yesterday and Will Ferrell said that he said yes to everything.
Yeah.
All the extra parts and things, and it worked out for him. And Anthony explains it best for how we got to where we did in radio.
Oh, yeah.
I like burped and yawned at the same time. I don't know what happened.
You know, especially when you're starting out, and it's a good mentality to have throughout your career, is sometimes you got to make a meal out of crumbs. The crumbs that everyone else discards could end up being your meal, especially if you're on the come up in an industry like that, in entertainment or in radio and TV and movies, because there are people that are always going to get considered for bigger things ahead of you. They've got a bigger name. They've got more experience. All of that. They have the connections.
Right.
But when something falls in your lap, you just have to say yes at some point. Do that thing. And for us, that was taking the holiday shifts, filling in for Ronnie when he was doing the Ryan Seacrest show, filling in for Scotty when he went on vacation, filling in for Garrett when he went on vacation or had a baby or whatever.
What's crazy is all those things were paid gigs too. Like we
Most
definitely
of
did
them.
unpaid stuff,
Yeah.
but all of those things were just paid things that people at that point just didn't want to do.
But
or were on vacation.
I know for me, there were a lot of interviews that I did, whether it was in the Z100 studio or out on location, that either the station couldn't find someone in short notice to go, or no one wanted to do it because it was like an up-and-coming artist and no one wanted to drive out to Garden State Plaza and interview Fifth Harmony on stage.
Yeah, like I got sent to Times Square when Lady Gaga's Art Pop album was revealed, and it was a Times Square takeover, and I had to like interview people in Times Square and ask them what they thought about it. They literally did nothing with this audio, and it wasn't an Elvis thing. It was like a company thing.
Yeah, like an iHeart thing.
Yeah, and they needed content, and I went, and this was probably like 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah,
and I was like, they're not gonna do anything with this, but here I am, Times Square.
Z from NYC said, Tones, did you have an agent?
Yes.
I did have an agent. Shirley.
Her name was Estelle, and
What?
I had to look it up just to make sure.
Who's Estelle?
Joey's agent
Oh.
in Friends is exactly how you describe your agent to me.
So I need to look up her name. Where is it? No, where is it?
Well, last night when I was at dinner with neighbor Olivia, we were talking about improv, and she was like, I could never. And I was like, I thought the same thing. It was so much fun.
Shirley Grant?
And I miss improv. She's like, would you go back? I was like, it's just so hard now because I made such good friends in improv that if they're not in my class, I'm like, I don't want to do it. That's your agent.
It was. I'm not trying to be funny here. I'm pretty sure she's dead now. Like, she was super old when
That's not old.
that picture's not new.
Yeah, but
Like, that's Kel. Hold on, let me put this on the screen. Give me 1 second here. Where is it?
the Jonas Brothers?
Yeah.
Christina Ricci. But she don't have Anthony from 200 on there.
Let me find it. There it is.
Well, that's not her.
Well, let's see. Staff. This may not have been updated in years.
Success stories.
She's been a talent manager since 1978. She might know Donna or whoever was on your email chain.
Barbara.
Success stories. No. Oh. Let's see how many people
She
we know
only
here.
works with ages 5 to 25. That's so sad.
Yeah, so she was a customer of my dad. So she like bought jewelry, would bring stuff. She was based in, I think, Teaneck, maybe?
Can
Teaneck,
I
New
read
Jersey.
the Jonas Brothers success story?
And one day I was working for my dad, and she came in and she said, would you want to work with me? And I was like, I don't know what that means, but sure. Jonas Brothers.
Is that her in the photos?
Yeah.
Okay, so that other photo was not her.
Oh, maybe not. But this was her. This is the woman I remember.
Okay, so now this makes sense.
Okay. Look at all those little headshots.
Stop.
I have, by the way, the headshot that you've posted
her?
about me, it has the same logo.
We got to do a side by side. Look at little Nicholas.
Who else do we have here? Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah, because they all grew up in either
Wyckoff.
Wyckoff or Waldwick. Yeah.
Wyckoff. My boy.
All right, so here, do you want to read that? Put it on the screen.
It all started with a haircut. Nicholas was
Hold on, sorry.
Nicholas was singing in a barbershop one day. A patron heard him and recommended to Denise Jonas that they get in contact with Shirley Grant. The rest is history. For the next 4 years, Nick, Joe, and Kevin enjoyed much success in show business. Nick booked 4 Broadway shows. Kevin did many commercials.
Hold on, it's not, for some reason, it's not going on the screen. I got to fix this. Give me 1 second.
I can keep reading, though. If I'm reading, they don't need to see the words.
That's true.
The commercials that Kevin did, by the way, are eBrain, Office Depot, Burger King, American Express, Anti-Smoking, AT&T. And Joe
I did an anti-smoking campaign as well.
Were you on it? You probably would have.
No, it probably wasn't this. I think by the time I was doing the anti-smoking campaign, they were probably on one of their shows. There we go. Now I have it on the screen.
And Joe made his Broadway debut in Baz Luhrmann's La Boheme, as well as doing many commercials for Clorox, Tiger Toys, Spider-Man, Zyrtec. Denise and Kevin Jonas had their 3 boys running all over New York, getting them to rehearsals, shows, auditions, all while raising them to be wonderful men they become today and giving the world a bonus Jonas. Someone should tell Shirley Grant that Frankie Jonas no longer goes by the bonus Jonas.
I think Christina Ricci.
No success story, though.
Nope. But that's my agent and Christina Ricci.
Time out.
Who are these other people? J.D. Roth. I don't know any of these other people.
Can you Google Kevin Jonas anti-smoking?
Kevin.
I need to look up his age. He's 35. So Kevin Jonas and I are the same age.
Anti-smoking campaign?
Yes.
If it looks like it was at a car wash, then that's the one.
Because were you filming the same time as anyone else?
Yeah, there was a bunch of us there.
You were there with Kevin Jonas.
I doubt it. Campaign, teenager. I don't know. What am I putting in here? There's no way it's going to come up. Yeah, there's not a chance we find this thing. My mom, I believe, still has there was like prints that she had from this anti-smoking campaign. That was actually the first one that I got. And it was from Philip Morris because they had to pay for
company?
Yeah, the company that owns, I believe, Marlboro. What a stupid word to say. And because they have to spend a certain amount of money every year on anti-smoking campaigns. That was the first one I got. And I remember I got it after like 1 or 2 other auditions, maybe even the first audition. And my mom was talking to some other mom because I was like 16 at the time. She was like, wow, your son landed a Philip Morris campaign already? I don't know what any of this stuff means.
I don't know. If I was a stay-at-home mom, I think I'd be like, let's try this whole modeling thing.
Well, I guess my parents took me when I was like a baby.
But were you cute?
Well, not as an infant. I was terribly ugly. But then like as a toddler, I think I got cute. I don't know. I think I was. I think someone may have told me I was cute one time. But someone, maybe even Shirley Grant, because she was my dad's customer forever, she may have even suggested it, but they took me to wherever the audition would have been, or the screening, essentially, because they don't audition a baby. And I remember my mom says the story basically as they told her she was going to have to leave for like an hour.
And leave you?
Yeah, and she was just like, never mind.
Yeah,
and that was it. I guess they have to see how the kid responds without the parents there, but my mom just wasn't comfortable with that whole
I don't blame her
idea.
Because you also don't know, like, if this is real.
Yeah.
My niece wanted to take my great nephew Michael, baby Michael, on something because we were like, dude, this kid is like so photogenic. Like, get him into something. And he did. Like, there was an agency she talked to for a bit, and they were like, okay, it's this amount of money to sign on.
Yeah, a lot of them are scams.
And we were like, Alyssa, don't do this. Like, someone
was it
will
one of those
find him.
companies that runs radio ads to like take your kid to the mall on the weekends?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think those are legit.
So
I'm sure one or two people.
Well, there was a lawsuit against them.
And I'm sure one or two people have been discovered
through
that.
Demi Lovato, apparently, according to the commercial.
According to the radio spot. Next on the list, we go from famous Jonas Brothers and myself to famous cats.
Well, speaking of, let me at least put the cats on screen. One of them.
Okay. Well, Max is in the room.
That's what I'm getting. Ma'am.
She's been in here roasting because it is warm.
Show everybody your crown. She has a little crown on her tooth from her dimples.
Is she one of the famous cats?
Yes.
Okay.
So, let me tell you the backstory. On Sunday, I got brunch with our friend Andrea, who does like all of our photos, and our mutual friend Kelly Hansen. Kelly works at King 5. She's the host of Local Lens. It's a show where she just goes around Seattle, Western Washington, showcasing small businesses. So Kelly had to do a shoot at Sunny Up Food Truck. And we've gotten their breakfast sandwiches before. I go there, but like whenever I see them, like I'm getting one because they're so good.
They're very good.
It's women owned. So Kelly was doing a shoot there for Women's History Month for March. So it was planned. They knew Kelly was coming. And I show up with Kelly. We're ordering. And I don't even know her name. The woman running the food truck goes, "You didn't tell us she was coming." And I'm like, she's pointing at me. And I'm like, what? They're like, "We love your cat." And she goes, "You need an Instagram for them." I was like, excuse me, they have one.
There very much is an Instagram
They're
for
like,
them.
"What?" So I told them, and they followed. And then I posted a photo of Erica, and I was like, the women at Sunny Up said they love us, but they weren't following us, so whatever, because they're very sassy on their Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that. I mean, Erica said that.
Yeah, of course.
But I was like, people have been like, "I love your cats," but that was the way it happened. Was like, "We love your cats."
I mean, they're good cats.
Maxie.
Cats also just rule the internet, always.
Have since the 90s.
Since the beginning of the internet, cats have been the driver of change.
If you watch any show about the internet and how it started, it's always about cats.
Cat memes.
It's crazy.
Cat memes, they crush. Like, people love dogs, obviously, but cats rule the internet.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Next on the list, and this is something that we tried to get to yesterday, did not have time, and I believe a lot of people wanted to hear about this. Foot money.
Your girl wants you.
One of my hands are in my pockets, and she's on me, and I'm stuck here. Hold on. So, foot money. We've talked about this in the past. I've made a couple bucks off of foot-related things. And normally it starts out as like a challenge almost, or like me calling someone's bluff.
Okay.
The first time I made money off of feet was because I'd posted something with my sneakers a while ago, like showing off a new pair of sneakers I got, something like that. And they're like, "Oh, I would love to buy pictures of your feet." And I just responded right away. I said, $100. And next thing I know, my Venmo had $100 in it. I said, "Okay, well, I'll send a picture." So I sent a picture of my foot. And then they said, "What about the other one?" I said, "That's another $100." And sure enough, they sent another $100. So I said, "All right." And then we talked about it the next day on the radio. And since that video has been posted on YouTube
every day,
I would say at least 2 times a week, I either get a DM or an email.
Oh, but there's comments almost every day on that video because I see the comment alerts that are like, "Oh, he's into feet," or he'll send me feet pics. I'm like, I'm gonna do a video on YouTube.
And every now and then, someone from that video, someone that watches that video, either messages me on Instagram or emails me. And normally, I don't really pay attention to it.
We need to do an OnlyFans of both of our feet. People pay so much money for our feet touching.
Over the weekend, I was going through this room and I was trying to get rid of just as many things as I possibly could. And I've got this pair of Nike Air Maxes that are coming apart. Like the cloth part is coming apart from the bottom, the rubber sole. And I posted that. And someone, I'm not exaggerating, within 4 minutes, someone responded and said, I'd love to buy those off of you.
I told you to tell them I have shoes too.
Right away, I'm telling a story. It's not about you, Carla Marie.
I want money.
You make enough money. I make no money. So right away, I said, you know what? I'm going to call this guy's bluff. I said, $150. Here's my Venmo. I'm not exaggerating. 60 seconds later, bam, $150 in my Venmo.
On broken shoes.
I'm just busted shoes. And by the time I woke up the next morning, I had at least a dozen messages.
You could have made
like,
them...
oh my God, can you sell them? And some of them are just people being like, oh man, I would love to sniff those. No. And I don't respond. This is a cash transaction. And actually the person that messaged me,
you're like a prostitute.
And gave me the $150 said something like, can you sign them? Or can you, something like that. And I just wrote, you are getting these shoes as is. And that was it.
They probably like loved that.
They might. Maybe they're into like the aggressive shoe salesman. Like Al Bundy. Just a disgruntled shoe salesman.
Everyone's got their thing. And if it's feet, I am also happy to deliver.
But then a couple people are like, oh, if you're selling more sneakers, let me know. And I do have a bunch of sneakers that I got to get rid of. And I think I'm going to see if I can get $200 for a pair. I think I can do it. Like my Ultra Boost that I wear to the gym, because they're white, they just look so ratchet now.
Yeah, but are you on the foot, what is that called? Famous Feet? Are you on there?
No, because I don't really post pictures of my feet themselves.
And you have nice feet, and they're soft.
What are you?
The top of your feet are so soft.
The bottom of my feet are disgusting.
Well, don't tell anybody about that. They won't know.
The bottom of my feet is like feel-a-dough. Just like peeling. Isn't feel-a-dough like the layered, crusty dough?
Like a croissant?
Yeah, kind of.
Ew.
Oh, man. ABC always be closing. I gotta put it on the screen. Do you ever look at these people's profiles? Because clearly there's something wrong. So I have checked out a few profiles. And listen, everyone's got their own thing. If you like feet, you like feet. If you want to pay for them, by all means, pay for them. Enjoy yourself. If you like buying old sneakers, I guess it saves them from a landfill for a couple months at least, and do whatever you do with them. But most of the account, they're actually like people who will have almost like burner foot accounts. It'll be like Foot Lover 222 or something. And that's what they'll message you from. I don't think there's a couple that have messaged me and are fans of the show. And just like feet.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah. What size? Said Mr. Miami Cool. 11. I do have new sneakers, like sneakers that I've barely worn that I'm also trying to sell. If you're interested, let me know. 11 or there's 2 11.5s right here that I got to get rid of.
There was, and this is not like a foot fetish thing, but speaking of selling sneakers, there's a woman who purchased two pairs of shoes from me on Poshmark because we're the same size. And when I sent her shoes, I wrote a note and I was like, let's cut out the middleman here. If you ever need shoes, DM me on Instagram. I might be selling shoes or I might have shoes I'm willing to part with. And she messaged me. She's like, months later, just like 2 weeks ago, and she was like, hey, you told me to message you. I'm actually on the hunt for tennis shoes. If you have any, let me know. I was like, I have 3 pairs that I've been waiting to post. This is them. Boom, deal. I'm about to mail them out. It was great. But I was like, I also have a pair with holes in them. They're like pretty good, but I don't think you want them because you're not trying to just sniff my shoes. So
well, they're also clean.
I know
right?
They're clean, but they're like the Nike Adidas like knit. I think they were too small and my toes
probably
kind of poked holes in them.
But also at some point, like I've had Ultra Boost, the knit Ultra Boost forever. And at some point they will start to tear in the front.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Because it is really just cloth.
So,
and especially if you got some jagged toenails.
But if someone wants to buy them, not even like in a smelly way, you can just put a little patch on them. underneath.
Oh, to fix
If
it?
you're clever.
There's
Yeah.
got to be, I bet you there's a company or something that like stitches them up and
I
donates them or
stitched
something.
my white ones to wear to Stagecoach because I was like, these are
You
getting.
actually stitched them yourself?
I stitched them
Huh.
because they were just gonna be in dust all the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't care. I'll wear them to Stagecoach and then I'll just like donate them. And they were fine, but I knew that the stitch was there. But the black ones, I bet you could barely tell if you stitch them.
Can you grab me that box that's over there, the black box? So the next thing on the list and the last thing for the day is how to sell metal. So,
What is?
well, I'll explain in a second. So, as I was explaining earlier, I've been trying to get rid of like everything in this room. I feel very cluttered in here sometimes, just in this house in general. 'Cause I don't like a lot of things. There's a lot of things around me. So I started going through the boxes that I've been kind of putting off. One of the things I found was a bunch of old phones, and I'm like cracked, broken. I said, all right, well, what do I do with all these phones? And I found a service online that's supposed to send me a mailer, like a prepaid mailing thing, because I'm donating over 5 of them. And some of them can be refurbished and sold. Some of them aren't terrible. And they take in all the phones and they figure out which ones get recycled, which ones can be either redistributed or sold, and that money goes to whatever charity you designate. So I'm trying to do that, and that's with all of these phones in here.
We'll take them out.
There's a lot.
What is this guy?
This is the
not
Samsung
that one.
Galaxy Note 3, and it made me really miss the pen.
No,
This is
there
pretty
was
cool.
one that was like super thin.
That's the Galaxy S3. This is an S8, but it's falling apart.
I remember this one.
This is an
I
S6,
remember when you had that one.
and that's another S8. Yep. But why do I have all these here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just time to get rid of them.
What is the link to do this thing?
Once it actually works, because they haven't emailed me the actual thing, and I did this 3 days ago, but yesterday was President's Day, so I'm giving them time. If it works, I will definitely post about it.
Okay.
And I'll let you know the link, because there's a couple like good places you can donate them to. And if they're complete trash, if you have electronic trash, you could always just go to Best Buy.
You used to be able to donate them to like a domestic violence organization that gives them as like burner phones to women. But I don't even know, like, I don't see that anywhere anymore.
So one of the problems now, especially if you have really old phones, like that S3, the Note 3, I don't think would qualify for a lot of charities in America because they all have to have emergency services on them now, and a lot of the older phones don't.
Yeah, but the older phone, that's what I remember it from.
But now once that law went in, I don't think those charities can take those phones. But a lot of them will get sent overseas. They'll go to Africa, they'll go to Southeast Asia, they'll go to places that don't have the same regulations on what phones have to have access for and give phones to people. Or they just recycle the materials because a lot of that stuff can be reused. But
that was not.
the question I had
Well,
is
wait.
What?
Before you show this show and tell, Martha asked the question I was going to ask. Why do you have so many phones? Like, you don't exchange them when you get a new one?
Well, most of the phones that I've gotten have been from phone companies.
As like a promo.
As a promo, and I've gotten them for free. So I've never had to trade them in or anything. And plus, they usually shatter by the time I'm done with them. Like I have a Google Pixel 3, and that's like the only phone that's lasted me a long ass time without me shattering it.
It's crazy.
But the other question that I had is, what do I do with all this stuff? This is all like, it's copper, it's metal. I mean, that's stainless steel from shaker bottles, and I got a bunch of copper wiring in here. And I know that like crackheads steal copper wire and sell it. So why can't I, is the question.
Because you're going to have to find a crackhead to sell it to.
No, because they sell it to someone else that gives them money. So I looked up some scrap yards, and there's one in Fremont. It's not too far.
You're going to show up to a scrapyard with a Ziploc bag with blender bottles?
That's my question. Do I have to have like a truckload of metal?
You should get someone who has a pickup truck, like one of our friends, and put this in the back and roll up.
Melissa said copper is worth money, which is why I put these all in a bag. And I want to see if I can sell them and how much money I would get. Even if it's like $4, it'd be cool to just be like, oh, I sold this instead of throwing it out. And they can recycle it and they can profit however they need to off of it. But I want to see if I can get some dollars from it. But my question is, if anyone's ever been to like a scrap yard, how much scrap metal do I actually need?
Oh my God, they're going to laugh at you so hard.
Like if I don't pull up in a Ford F-150, do they laugh at you?
No, that's too nice. It's got to be like a rundown, like Bella's truck in Twilight.
Find an electronics recycler, but will
That
they
was
pay
about
me?
the phones, I think.
Oh, okay. Let's see what we have here.
No one knows about the metal life.
No one knows about the metal stuff? Oh, this is great. Tacoma Swifty said, I've been thinking about looking into Ridwell.
Same.
They drop off bags for each recycling item. So Ridwell is based in Seattle. I think they're currently operating in Seattle and Denver. It's not a national thing yet, but it is pretty cool. You have a little container
Out front.
on your front doorstep or your front porch,
We have no room for.
and you can put things like old clothes. You can put plastic bags in there. You can put things that normally you can't put in your regular recycling, and then they take it, they sort through it, and they get it recycled wherever it needs to go.
And you have to pay for that service, though.
But I was actually thinking about reaching out to them and seeing if they want to do some sort of partnership. Okay, Jordan Puyallup said, my dad just took a bunch of brass and metal to the port of Tacoma. He got $200, but he had a 5-gallon bucket. Okay, but that's $200. So what would that be?
$8.
It's definitely 2 pounds, maybe 3 of assorted metals. Jesse said, my husband always takes truckloads at a time. Yeah, but I don't have a truck or
And
B,
B,
a load
loads.
to put in the truck. Give it to waste management.
We don't have that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna go to the junkyard or the scrapyard and be like, hello,
While
hello,
you're
good
there,
sir.
can you
How
look-
much for my bag of metal?
While you're there, look for the brave little toaster.
If he's there, he's probably
Have you ever
been
seen it?
smashed at this point.
You've never seen it.
Let's see. Nick NYC said 718 said you got to have a 5-gallon. You know what? If that's the case, then I'll just buy a 5-gallon bucket
And put that in it.
and I'll just wait until I.
Can you bring cans? Go pick up some trash somewhere.
What else do we have here? Risk it for the biscuit. Jersey Quinn. Ooh, Fred the Mailman. My uncle went to prison for illegally taking the copper out of discarded water meters at work and selling it for scrap. He took a lot. So this is actually kind of sad.
But it was discarded.
No. He took them illegally from discarded water meters. But if it was at work, then he probably wasn't supposed to be stripping them down for himself to resell it. So my uncle used to work for NJ Transit for years. And he was like a head engineer at some point, or he was in charge of the engineers at one point. He was like their boss. And he would have to get called in when things went wrong. He'd have to go to the site. So that was train derailments, suicides,
Nick?
unfortunately, things like that.
Your
Like-
Uncle Nick?
No, my Uncle Musa.
Oh.
Like the terrible things you wouldn't want to see, Musa had to go and check it all out. And there were multiple times where people would electrocute themselves trying to take copper from some of the electrified things on train tracks
How did they
or
not
over
know
train
that
tracks.
they can't do that?
It happens all the time. People try to steal those items, those metals, and they electrocute themselves. It's actually oddly common and sadly common, I guess.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but if I got the goods, I don't have to climb. I can just go and sell some scrap.
Have you Googled this?
I Googled where to go. So I think I'm just going to show up and be like, what do you give me for the goods?
Can you wear a suit?
I should dress like the Monopoly man and show up with a
I'll
cane
give you these glasses.
and a monocle. I've got a proposition for you, sir.
Do you think that these glasses would help you see different?
Let me see.
Well, don't scratch them.
Okay, then don't give them to me. My head's bigger than yours.
Well, maybe just like put them like near your eye.
Okay, I'm looking at. Hold on, let me see. I'll read.
Like wait,
I'll
here,
read-
here. Oh
read
my
the
god,
text.
it makes such a difference for me.
I think it's worse.
Okay, give me
It's either a little worse or no difference.
them. Okay, you need a different prescription.
Or maybe I just don't need a prescription.
Everything.
Are you blind now?
No, it just makes it so much crisper. It's crazy.
Oh, so
Man.
Juan said it's metal is usually by the weight and it's 70 cents a pound.
Okay, go get your $1.40.
You know what? I'll take it. And at least it goes to where it's supposed to go.
That's-
It goes to its home. and I'll get like I don't know, a buck or two.
I decided that so I was talking to my friend and her sister goes to Goodwill, buys things, and flips them on Poshmark for so much money, and she's running a full-blown side hustle. And I see it all the time on Instagram. People talk about doing this, but like to know someone who's doing it, and she's like, it's a full-blown side hustle.
Yeah, but I feel like that takes a lot of time and effort. And you have to like really know what you're doing. Because you not only have to spend the time sifting through everything at a Goodwill, because it's not like they're the most organized stores. But then you have to post it. You have to deal with all of that.
Well, years ago, my friend Tawny, she was one of the makers at Full Moon Market with Laura Burkhart. They both created it. When I first met Tawny, part of her, and she did this till like the end of the market, her business was she would go to all these thrift shops, buy things that were like in one color skew, I guess. It was all like tans, whites, like light colored things. Buy them and then resell them, but like because there was an aesthetic to them, and I don't even know. I bought a jacket from her. She probably got it for $8. I think I spent $30.
Yeah.
But because there was an aesthetic and it was at a market, she was able to flip it, and people were buying it. Like, I'm gonna do it.
Brie from AZ said, "I did this for a while. It's so time consuming. I can only imagine sifting through all that stuff, especially if you're going for a very specific look like that. You're looking for like a needle in a haystack
because then you're going with a mission.
True.
But I think I'm going to go and first I'm going to get myself a pair of jeans because I'm not spending all this money on jeans, which aren't going to fit me right because jeans don't fit anyone right. And if I lose weight or gain weight, then I can't wear the jeans I spent all this money on. So that's why I'm going to go to Goodwill.
Ricky is in the chat. Carla Marie.
What's up?
What up, Ricky? Also, I see Radio Fam is in here.
Whoa.
She said, yep, I'm in a lot of resell groups on Facebook. I feel like Facebook is the place for that too. Because you got a lot of like Midwest moms just looking for things online on Facebook.
Live in the Midwest.
Yeah, but you can sell things to people who live in the Midwest. You can ship it.
I do the free thing where I just give people in my neighborhood free things.
Oh, what?
Buy nothing.
Buy nothing.
Yeah, Data Maryland's and Buy Nothing group.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Every time we're like, oh, we need a new like something for streaming, whether it's like a table or a shelf or whatever, I go there first.
So I mentioned that I want to actually reach out to Ridwell because they're a Seattle-based company and see if we can do some sort of promotion or marketing campaign with them. The other company I found out was based here, across the lake in Bellevue, is OfferUp, and I use OfferUp so many times. I'm about to do a video about why content creators, podcasters, basically anyone should go to OfferUp first before they buy anything, and I feel like that would be a really good partnership because a lot of the stuff that we use here, this monitor that we're looking at behind our camera. That's OfferUp. This Stream Deck, OfferUp. The thing that we connect our camera to the computer, that's from OfferUp. And I've saved on those electronics, especially the Stream Deck, the Elgato stuff. What are you trying to do?
Show Ricky. She was talking about how everything looks different.
Oh. Here.
Yeah, you've probably saved $1,000.
Oh, at least. Yeah. Absolutely. And I've saved at least 50% off the retail price for everything that we've purchased for this stream on OfferUp. And then obviously
this computer. We got that on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. But
for $30.
There's so much stuff, especially electronics out there. Even if you want a TV, like right now,
post-COVID,
we're working on reconfiguring this room. And one of the things I'm thinking about is getting a table. And originally I went to IKEA. That was the first thing I did. I just want a cheap table. I was like, wait, you know what? People are getting rid of IKEA tables all the time.
Plus, there's that wood slab sale that's been going on for 7 years in our neighborhood.
Yeah, except those wood slabs are like $800. Yeah. They are beautiful, but just not what we need for
There's
this
been a
space.
Sign that says wood slab sale
every
weekend since we moved here.
But that's one of the things we're going to do is probably either through a Buy Nothing group or really cheap on OfferUp or Facebook, grab a table and then drill the holes and attach the things we need to make it like a nice studio desk.
Yeah.
And we're going to be facing each other at that point.
Is that happening?
It'll be 2 cameras. How do you feel about that? If we did a whole show, I think it'd be a better show because that's how we used to do the podcast. It's tough doing the show this way, trying to read the chat, look at the camera, then look at you. I feel like we ignore each other a lot.
What just happened?
Electricity.
I'm not ignoring you.
No, the electricity
the light
is
just
all
got
messed
so
up.
bright.
I ate a Seattle gummy, but I'm still so tired, says Wendy in Virginia. Well,
Have two, girl.
That's 1 cup of coffee. If you need to ratchet it up to 2, go for it.
That was a ratchet sound.
Ricky, I don't know if someone asked you specifically, but Ricky just said I would 100% sell feet pics.
I would sell photos of my knees down, and here I'll sell my armpits. Whatever you need.
What are your prices? If I'm flipping through the Carla Marie catalog, what am I seeing?
Well, you sold a foot pic for $100.
$100.
1 foot. But I'm not going to be doing those, piecemeal deals. It's
Okay.
2 feet.
And how much?
$300.
Okay. No, that's what I was going to say. You better upcharge. Because there's a lot of people here flooding the market,
And now that's just the feet. If you want me to have a certain color nail polish, because people do that, then it's going to be, you're going to have to pay for the pedicure as well and my time at the pedicure.
So this is basically how the OnlyFans world works from what I understand. People can message you and say, hey, I requested this type of content. You can charge them extra for that.
Yes. I know someone who was making $1,500 a month while she was in college.
Doing what?
Selling feet pics.
Oh, yeah.
But if you need me to smash food with my feet, I'd rather not because that's wasteful.
Well, eat it afterwards.
Absolutely.
Wash your feet. What's the difference? If you washed your feet and then you did that, what's the difference of grabbing some chicken with your hands and then eating it later? There's no difference.
If I'm smashing it with my hands, there's a difference.
Yeah, you have to tenderize your meat.
Oh, so it's raw meat now.
I don't know.
No. So there's a few add-ons you could do. Then it's gonna get a little pricey.
Like what? I want some details here.
It all depends. If I'm smashing sticking my feet in watermelon.
Okay, hold on. Someone in the chat, make a request. What would your hypothetical request?
You my foot pimp?
No, I just want to see what this is like.
All right,
we got
smashed
Z from
avocado.
NYC. Smashed avocado, Carla Marie.
How many avocados we talking? These things are expensive. I do 1 avocado. I saw them
1 per foot.
1 per foot. Well, they were
no, because you could do a slice per foot.
all
So
right,
1.
we'll do 1 per foot. They were $1.89 at Whole Foods the other day, which is kind of
good.
expensive.
$1.89 for 1 avocado?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll say $4, right? We'll just call it there, after tax. So you obviously have to pay $4 plus the $300 for the feet. Then my time smashing and my time cleaning up, $500.
$500 total?
Yeah.
I think you're probably short selling yourself, but hey, go for it.
Spaghetti.
What about spaghetti?
I
Says
gotta
Claire.
make. What are we talking with the
Angel hair spaghetti with some sauce.
That's you don't say that because it's not angel hair spaghetti.
Oh, angel hair noodles.
Angel hair pasta. Or macaroni.
It's not macaroni.
It is.
It's not macaroni. Macaroni is short.
No, you made that up.
If it's stumpy, it's macaroni.
You talk about your people and your hummus.
Yeah, what about some hummus? If you had some baba ganoush.
All right, let me answer the spaghetti. Am I putting some tomato sauce on it?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna use a jar. I'm not making my mom's.
You're gonna go ragu.
We got Rouse. That's expensive. I'm saying spaghetti's probably $6.50.
$650. It's not bad. Not a bad gig. How much time would you think that whole process would take? Boiling the pasta.
20 minutes. 25 minutes.
Not bad to make $650 for $20 an hour. So next time, remember this: when
$20
when
an
you're here,
hour.
or $650 in 20 minutes. So $1,300 an hour is what that would work out to.
Okay, but
I don't know what number I said earlier, but think about this: next time someone's like, "Oh, no one wants to work anymore." It's not that no one wants to work anymore. It's just that all the people that used to work for minimum wage are now making $650 an hour selling
on
foot pics.
OnlyFans.
That's why there's no one working at your cafe. That's why your barista left. That's why there's no one available anymore.
Yep.
Because there's a whole industry of selling boobs, butts, and feet.
And some of them run it like a real, they have LLCs. They're doing it the right way.
Yep. There are
mashed potatoes. If I have to make them from scratch, it's going to take forever. Well, I'm just going to go to Ballard Market, buy some mashed potatoes. They're expensive there, but I'll buy them. Yeah, that'd be a little messy too. That's $6.50 as well.
Mergen said, I asked my parents and grandma at my brother-in-law's birthday dinner last week if they would judge me for selling feet pics. They were confused.
Well,
what?
There you go. They're confused. Doesn't matter. Do it.
Listen, we are out of here. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We will be back on Thursday. Before I close this, I just want to see how close we are to our sub goal for the month. Where the hell did Twitch go? Oh, there it is. We are. Okay, not bad. 22, right? Yeah, that's the math. 22 subs away from our sub goal. We could have even hit it by Thursday, but we got 3 more shows to do that. What?
What's the goal?
The goal is 450.
Oh, okay, I see.
And we're at 428 right now.
All right.
We will be back on Thursday. If you have not done so yet, listen to the Morning Show podcast. It's available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thank you. Peace out.
And yes, Melissa, Prime subs count as subs.
Oh, yeah. Any type of sub. Gifted subs, Prime subs, regular subs.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.
Peace.